morning, Tomlin Middle School art students. This video is for my 2D1, 2D2, and visual art students. This week we are looking at perspective still. Last week we looked at 1-point perspective, and this week we are looking at 2-point perspective. So I gave you an assignment. I did a video on Tuesday to talk more about 2-point perspective and how it works. I gave you a piece of information, a worksheet to work on to kind of use the skills that we have already used in the past, the horizon line, the vanishing point, the converging lines, and then take that but have 2 vanishing points and how you can manipulate the object in space above or below the horizon line. So I'm gonna give you a little bit more information today. Today I'm gonna do a little bike ride as I do most days, and I'm gonna take some photographs of some houses as I go along in a 2-point perspective setup so that I can bring them home, put them on my computer, and then we can maybe like make a little road or 2 roads that have 2-point perspective with all the different types of architecture that I have in my environment. So I'm gonna get my bike ready in just a moment here, and we will take a tour around my town. I also wanna say that I have a lot of students, well, not a lot of students, but I have some students who are kind of behind because this is all new, and I understand this is all new. This is new to me as well. It's not just new to just you. I mean, we have 1,700 students in just Tomlin alone. So if you have problems or you can't figure things out, please reach out to me. Even if it's not even my class. I love science, I love math, I love history. Please reach out. If I can do anything to help you, even just help you with EDSB or help you with your math or science or history, whatever it may be, just reach out. I am here for you no matter what the issue is. I'm gonna do my best to figure it out, okay? So I just wanna remind you guys that I'm always here for you if you need any help with any education at all, okay? So let me get going. Now, like I mentioned before, in order for this to work out in 2-point perspective, I kind of need to take pictures of houses on the corner so that you can see down 2 different sides, and then therefore you have 2 different vanishing points. So first picture is going to be this house right behind me real quick. Now I want some variety in my pictures, so as far as architecturally, so I actually found the street where I can stand around the corner and I can get like 1, 2, 3 houses in the back, and how they like kind of just span down the road, and they all have different like front entrances. So I thought that was cool. So I'm gonna take a quick picture here too. All right, just got back from my bike ride. Took a bunch of different pictures all throughout my area of some houses. A lot of them were actually for sale, so I didn't look like a creeper taking photos of random houses. So that's good. There's a lot of houses for sale in my neighborhood. So now I'm gonna put them on my computer, and then I'm going to compose them in a certain way so that I can draw over them and kind of like trace them, and we'll see how they work as a 2-point perspective. So hold on tight, let me get my computer ready. Hey guys, so I'm finally set up on my computer. Sorry, my shoulder keeps disappearing. It's dark in the room, I guess. But I have finally set up on my computer. I have downloaded all of my photos, and I have put them on to Photoshop, where I am going to do a sketch, pretty short sketch of a 2-point perspective using all the different architectural elements that I can find in my environment. And I've compiled all these different houses in a way that shows 2-point perspective. Speaking of perspective, check out this awesome church. This is found in Paris, which I went to last year, and this is called the Sainte Chapelle Church, which is on a small island right behind Notre Dame. and it is absolutely beautiful. It's huge stained glass windows and giant vaulted ceilings and huge buttresses that hang out over the outside of the building. Really beautiful location. If I could do anything ever again, it would be visiting this church. It was unreal. So I'm going to share my screen here in just a second, and I'll show you what it is that I have created. All right, guys, so here we go. Same setup as normal. I got my little video running in the corner here, and you can see me up here, top right-hand corner. So this is Photoshop. I use Photoshop quite often for especially my drawing tool here, as well as the drawing pad that I have, which isn't showing up. Why aren't you showing up? You're pretty much taking over the camera. Anyway, it's right here, I promise you. So, and I use this all the time for sketching and stuff like that. So this is what I have on my computer. I have taken photos of my all these different types of buildings. So I have this building here that I showed during my video, this one here, that one right here in the middle, you can just popped up. And then I have this piece right here, and there's another, and another, and this one. And what I did is I set it up so that there's essentially a split in the road, right? So this is one vanishing point and this is another vanishing point. And then I set it up so I have a couple like roads running into the distance into those two vanishing points. So I know it's a little bit of a hack job, but essentially I'm going to draw over this anyway to kind of give you a better idea of how you can make a 2-point perspective in a landscape format. So let me just put together real quickly here all those different visual points that we talked about before, which were like the horizon line. So my horizon line is set up essentially right here through the center. So let me just get that set up. Here is, wrong button. Here is my horizon line. Okay, a little red line in the middle there. And then I have a couple of vanishing points. So let me mark those in blue. I got a vanishing point there as well. And then I have a vanishing point here also. And then just like in our project, or the assignment that I had just recently given you, I give you like these lines that you had to connect to the vanishing points. And we did that really similar to like this. So let me get a different color, like a purple. Let me actually just make my brush a little bit bigger. There we go. And so essentially the assignment was that you got these lines like this. And the idea was that you had to take these lines and you had to connect them to the vanishing point like this. And like this. Now this object, I'm sitting right on the horizon line, so you can only really see two sides. And as I said in the earlier video, or clip rather, you'd have to see two sides to get 2-point perspective at least. Now these ones over here, you get to see two sides as well on these corners because they are the hinges essentially of this image. And all the buildings that lead up to the vanishing points expand as well. So all these buildings, now this building's a little taller, so I kind of set it up like that. But essentially, if you look at this porch here, it also follows that guide. And so essentially we have a building here in the center, and then we have a building off to the right and a building off to the left, and everything reaches into these two vanishing points. So let me get rid of all those like lines to kind of give you an idea. And this next part, I'm gonna kind of like sketch in essentially what it is that I want the photo to look like, the drawing to look like in the end. So let me just sketch in. I'll probably do a time lapse of this so I don't have to waste your time watching me sketch every little thing. But essentially the point is that we're using those same fundamental parts of drawing perspective, the horizon line, the converging lines, and the vanishing points as a reference point to this overall image. So let me get a new layer here and get my brush, and let's get black. There we go. Check the size. Looks okay. Go a little bit smaller. Okay, so with just a few minutes of kind of doing some rough outlines, and really rough outlines, after just doing a few minutes of those, let's take a look and see what the overall picture looks like and if perspective actually works in this setup. So let's take a look. These are just outlines. You can also do this at home with tracing paper and pictures from like you find online or whatever, or you could even just find images out of like magazines or newspapers. I mean, there are always buildings being taken pictures of. So, and then you just put them down in your configuration, and then you can trace them, and at least you have an outline or something, you know? So that's just an idea. You can do whatever one you want. So let's get rid of all these layers and unveil my lighter. Wow, look at that. That actually worked really good. I surprise myself sometimes. So, okay, so here we go. We have our building here in the middle. Okay, and then we have our buildings that kind of like go off into the distance. Once I find my pen, there it is. All the ones that go off into the distance right here, you know. And let's see here. And here's my buildings off to the left. And you can see how they clearly get bigger. See if I can get those lines back. Yeah, wow, okay. So you can see how things, so this one's a little off. I should have put this one a little further like down. Probably make things a lot easier. Do that, there we go. I should have made this one right here a little further down, and that would be helpful. But other than that, the perspective is pretty darn good, I think. So let me back up like this and take away this layer, where if I can find it, that one there, and put the background back on. And now that I have like a general idea of how the buildings sit, I can go in and I can do a little bit more sketching. So let's do that. Okay, there you guys have it. So I know the clouds are a little bit weird, but I was just trying to fill up negative space there. So the whole point of this was that I was showing you how you could take all the stuff that you have in your environment. You can even use those as resources, just like I did on my bicycle ride the other day. Today, I basically did the same thing, another bicycle ride, but I also did took some photos of some architectural stuff. So basically I was taking the information I learned last time, converting it into what I'm doing now, and I'm kind of putting it on paper, kind of like the contour sketches I had you guys do. This is very similar to that, except for specifically we're working on 2-point perspective. So I have my 2 vanishing points. Let's bring up those, there you go. Have our 2 vanishing points still. All of our stuff lead into the vanishing points. All of our converging lines lead that way. And then we also have this horizon line that cuts through the center. So, I mean, very easily you can do a quick little like trace, and then you can just fill it in with detail. You know, I have a sprinkler going off. I got this bush thing here, and these heart-shaped leaves that are over here that are some sort of a bush. Got like a small palm tree over here and a tall palm tree over there. You know, I don't know why everybody has a smokestack in Florida, but I'm from New England. Everybody has a smokestack in New England. So, you know, little driveways and such, and meshed in lanais and stuff, and porches, windows, window curtains, different types of architectural like structuring. So I got supports over here in different window sizes, and I got wood panels versus like brick panels, and a little bit of shading. So this is just, I just really wanted to show you how you can take the architecture that's surrounding you and be able to put it into a 2-point perspective drawing. So that's what I have for you guys today. Thank you very much for watching my video. Let me expand this real quick. There we go. Thank you very much for watching my video. You guys have a great weekend. Work on those 2-point perspective worksheets that I've given you as we go into the weekend. And then next week, we're gonna be kind of developing our skills one last time in the 3-point perspective and working on our final project beginning next week. So we have visual art students. You guys are gonna be working in 2-point perspective this week. 2D1 students, this is another format in which you can take your landscape. You can do 2-point perspective just like this if you want. Makes your image more dynamic and more interesting. And then we also have the 2D2 students, which again, like I had mentioned, you can't learn 3-point perspective unless you learn 1st-point perspective, 2-point perspective, and then next week I'll give you how to do 3-point perspective so you can start honing in on those 3-point perspective drawings. This again is just a instruction about 2-point perspective, but it also kind of gets you in the mindset of different architectural setups, different buildings and houses and stuff like that you can make your 3-point perspective around. So that's my drawing. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. and you have a great weekend. Stay cool.